Hi, I'm Greg Hughes with Run As Radio, and we're here in the Fishbowl, this big glass room on the floor at Tech Academia here in Barcelona, Spain. And I'm here with Andy Malone. How are you, Andy?
I'm very well.
We should give a massive congratulations to our speed rider for Tech Ed 94, Andy Malone.
I am here with Andy Malone.
I'm here sitting with Andy Malone. Oh, Andy Malone is me. Most folks will know me as a speaker at various Microsoft events, and for the last 20 years I've been a trainer. But a few years ago, well, not just a few years ago, I always wanted to write a book. So I wrote various articles and blog posts and things, and I just thought, well, let's give it a go. So The Seventh Day is my first novel. Story starts in 1710 in a small village in Scotland. The guy gets a job as a silver miner in a newly opened silver mine. Everything's fine, everything goes according to plan, but he discovers something he shouldn't have discovered. And as a consequence of that, he gets thrown forward in time 300 years. Now, the second part of the story is obviously how he deals with that. Because he's been uprooted, his life's gone, he's lost his wife. So how does he make friends? So there's a real kind of human side to the story as well. But on top of that, it's also amid a backdrop of catastrophes and disasters that are gripping the planet. And why has Doogie been thrown forward in time? Did he discover something that he shouldn't have discovered? So there's lots of questions being asked. So basically, he tries to find answers, and he basically meets a couple of friends, and they basically try and work together to convince the authorities that this must be something big going on here. So the story starts in Scotland and basically ends in Iceland. And I think it's a big kind of good versus evil kind of story. Lots of science fiction. It's definitely a thriller. So if you like books like, the Da Vinci Code and things like that, you'll love books like this, I think. The story starts in Scotland in 1710 in a little place called Alva. Alva's famous for silver. So in the 17th and 18th century, it had the highest deposit of silver in Europe, and this silver I thought was fascinating backdrop to the story. So there's a lot of it that takes place in Alva. Then once Doogie is thrown forward into modern day, of course, then the backdrop is worldwide. So as part of my job as a speaker and as a trainer, I get to travel a lot. So I basically use some of those places, some of those experiences to kind of bring a feeling of realism to the story, there's a great scene in Schwetzingen in Germany with an assassination. There's scenes with MI5 and MI6 and the British government in London. There's some great scenes with a priest in Rome who's trying to decipher some secret symbols. And ultimately the story concludes in Iceland. So Reykjavik in Iceland, there's a big kind of cataclysmic ending between good and evil at the end.
Okay, main characters. Three main characters. First one is the silver miner, Doogie Allen. He's a regular, ordinary guy, gets a job as a mine manager in a silver mine. And as I say, he's the guy that discovers everything and gets thrown forward in time. So the kind of the story really centers about him and how he tries to find his humanity in this new strange alien world of our modern time. And also he's got to find out what's really going on and what the connection is between all the disasters going on and why he's been brought forward in time. The other two characters are people he meets on the way. So Kate Harding is a kind of a hard-faced newspaper reporter who who's trying to track down the truth. And then Tom Duncan is a regular family man who has an accident in the modern world and actually discovers Doogie, and they become friends. So really it's the three of them and how they have to persuade the authorities and work together to kind of get through the whole thing.
Oh, hopefully everywhere. We're planning to, well, first of all, it's going to be released through Ingram, who are basically one of the biggest distributors in the world. So it's going to be available everywhere. You can order it from your local bookstore, or if you prefer a ebook version, of course, it's going to be on Amazon Kindle, the Nook, and also iBooks as well. Absolutely. I never meant the story to just be a standalone story. There's lots of twists and turns in the story. So at the end of the book, it's a very, very powerful ending. And if I was a reader and I read the end of the book, I would go, yes, I really want a sequel. So yes, there is going to be a sequel. It's called The Gathering of Souls, and I'm in the middle of it now.